Fox News chief legal correspondent and the host of the hit show Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream. Shannon, it's so great to have you on. Really appreciate you, Shannon. What's your reaction to this story?
It's so interesting. There's so much back and forth here with how this Georgia case came together. We all think about that foreperson of the special grand jury who was out giving media interviews and talking about how she thought it would be so cool to be able to swear in former President Trump and to ask him questions. It was just very odd. So at the end of the day, she's the one representing this group that decided more than 30 different people needed to potentially be indicted, including a sitting senator, 2 former U.S. senators, and many other people in President Trump's orbit. So it shows just how widely they cast this net. But as Jonathan was reporting there, at the end of the day, Fani Willis has to figure out what she thinks she can prosecute. And there's still legal scholars out there who think the 19 people she did indict are going to have a relatively good time mounting their defense and being able to fight back against these charges.
Yeah, the judge is saying there's no way they can get that case going in late October and send it to trial. You know, the other story that's coming in, Shannon, from where you sit and your expertise, when you see Fulton County, Georgia DA Fani Willis lashing out at House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan for investigating whether she coordinated with the White House and Special Counsel Smith on her indictment of former President Trump in that 2020 RICO case. You know, Shannon, critics are saying she waited 2.5 years later until the 2024 election season was in full swing. Shouldn't she just put up and say, you know, here's the proof I didn't talk to them, and what would be the proof?
It has been interesting that when she was asked that night when this whole indictment rolled out at that press conference, have you had coordination with Special Counsel Jack Smith? She didn't want to get into it and didn't address it. But you're right. She could shut that down by quickly saying, no, we didn't. And maybe they did have conversations. Maybe there were investigators and people who crossed over. They would have had to talk to some of the same witnesses. That's clear. So there would be points where those two would intersect, these two investigations. As you know, Congressman Jordan, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, says to her, I'm worried about potential political motivations. You had launched a re-election campaign. You were talking about prosecuting Donald Trump. Well, she fired back in this long letter. It reminds me of the back and forth between the House GOP and Alvin Bragg when they indicted in New York. Basically, she's saying, you can't get in the middle of my criminal investigation. You have no authority here. And she went on to say, you don't understand the law or what you're doing. So these two are not going to be tailgating together this weekend or doing Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure. Exactly.
No Christmas cards between them.
No.
You know, and then, Shannon, there's this other story. There's a movement in Arizona, Michigan, New Hampshire, now a half a dozen Colorado voters. They're filing this lawsuit trying to kick off Trump from the ballot in their states, citing the 14th Amendment. What do you think of that? Because the argument is anybody who's engaged in insurrection shouldn't be ineligible for office. But he hasn't been charged with incitement or insurrection by the special counsel, right?
And a lot of people thought that was very interesting. Those are charges that the special counsel could have brought but didn't bring. I mean, what these people who are challenging under the 14th Amendment's language, which says if you've taken an oath to defend the Constitution and you engage in an insurrection, well, you can't be holding federal office. They're pointing to that. But again, you're absolutely right. Those charges don't exist in any of these current cases that are pending out there, state or federal. So I think that they're trying to say the spirit of what they would argue is an insurrection. A lot of people would never call it that and don't see it that way. This is going to be interesting, Liz. I will predict this gets to the Supreme Court very quickly. I think on an expedited basis. It has to, with ballots getting ready just in weeks, really after the start of the year.
That's really interesting. Thank you, Shannon Bream. Always terrific.
Good to see you.
Be sure to catch you too. Be sure to catch Shannon's terrific show, Fox News Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the Fox News channel. Now, let's get you updated on this story coming in. We're going to bring in former acting ICE Director Tom Homan.